Fearless Shadow. Immunity to suppression while fully infiltrated also gains additional movement speed. Well, immunity to suppression is something strange. Who's even going to suppress him if he's invisible? But movement speed is nice. Not essential, but useful. Remote teleport. Choose a location, then choose a squad, after which you can teleport the squad to the location. If you could select the location and the squad remotely, maybe it could work, like dropping Deviant Tool right into the middle of the fight. But no, first you have to run to the spot, click on the ground, run back, click on the squad, and then you can teleport. It's just so awkward and slow. Flanking Expert. Cyrus deals more damage when he is away from allies. In Cyrus' case, significantly more damage is still insignificant. This ability doesn't suddenly turn him into DPS champion. Soft Target. Allies attacking marked target now regain health and energy. In fact, this ability is much weaker than marked target itself, which increases the damage of ranged squads quite nicely. Restoring a little HP and energy is more of a nice to have than anything truly necessary. Crippling Strikes. Cyrus melee strikes slow enemies and reduce their damage. Multiple hits increase penalties. Let's address the elephant in the room right away. Cyrus doesn't have a single proper melee weapon. Although the added grenade launchers and uncorrupted blighted bolter do have some melee damage, it's still extremely low. But on the other hand, the ability works surprisingly well against bosses and other single targets. Just don't try to tank with scouts. And considering that Cyrus DPS is basically non-existent anyway, going into melee, well, you are not really losing anything. Demolition Specialist. Cluster mines, demolition charges, and remote detonators now consume energy. Mines now deployed in a bundle. This is Cyrus' strongest ability in the add-on. Firstly, as it was already mentioned many times before in Chaos Rising, it is much harder to replenish supplies, while restoring energy isn't a problem anymore. Therefore, anything that converts consumable use into energy use is already good. But the last property is actually the key one here. Mines are now thrown like grenades, 4 at a time. It takes them a couple of seconds to arm, but that's laughably minor compared to the sheer damage they deal. Infantry, tanks, dreadnoughts, they all just get erased from the screen. Covered Leadership. Cyrus extends infiltration to allies when he doesn't move. Camouflage reduces damage taken, but not significantly, by around 20%. Sound useful, but Cyrus has to stay still for it to work, which is already a bit of a downside. On top of that, if the characters are in stealth, once they finish off their current target, they will switch into passive mode and try to become fully infiltrated instead of engaging the next enemies. And that is extremely inconvenient. It adds a lot of unnecessary micromanagement. Ambush. Infiltration provides a bonus to Cyrus attack damage. The longer he's infiltrated, the bigger the bonus. Same as Flanking Expert. No matter how long he stays cloaked, he's not going to start one-shotting bosses. No matter how many times you multiply 0, you still get 0. Mend. Revives units with full health, stimulants now cost energy to use. Even just the first part of the bonus, reviving the commander, Jonah, and Tool with full HP is already solid. But a first aid kit for energy, that's just illegal. Especially if you're running an energy build on the commander, just spam it on cooldown. Not exciting, but extremely effective. Bloodlust. Aggravated Wounds. Weapon abilities apply bleed and reduce enemy damage and movement speed. The bleed from high-powered shot deals approximately 25% of the original damage. Overall, it's not worst ability, but Specialist Ammunition from the core talent in the first campaign has turned into, at best, a mediocre talent in the add-on. Firstly, the number of uses per mission will be extremely low due to the division of supply crates into different types. Secondly, there is no powerful effect from eliminated key units. That is, if you kill a zoanthrope, some of the Tyranids around it will immediately die from shock, while the rest will go berserk and attack their allies. That's not the case with Chaos. Also, grenade launchers get the stunning grenades without needing to take Specialist Ammunition. It's a shame Cyrus can't use Melter. That's probably where something powerful would be. Cloud Mines. Global ability blinds all enemy units. Not the worst ability. In fact, enemies who are not fighting you directly in melee will simply forget about your existence for a short time. Will to Power. Ezreal. Immunity to damage while unrevealed, but more damage is taken otherwise. The question is, why do you need damage immunity if no one can see you anyway? And the only thing that comes into mind is to blow up remote detonators immediately right after planting them without wasting time for running away. Unfortunately, explosives don't care at all about your damage immunity. Yeah, that is, in essence, you simply take more damage. But if you think this ability is bad, then Deadly Package plants explosion on the ally, then detonates, killing the ally. Well, what do you think? The ability to blow up your own troops. Just incredible, right? Actually, it's possible to imagine some way to use even this. For example, if you blow up squads without squad mates, like the commander or Jonah, Cyrus can just instantly revive them afterwards, which is somewhat even nice. But there are two major drawbacks. First, the explosives don't deal much damage. Second, taking this perk removes one equipment slot. Ta-dam! So basically, you are stuck with a weaker version of Remote Detonator. Enjoy! Overall, all Chaos abilities have drawbacks, but some, like the commanders, are powerful yet situational, while others, just like Cyrus. Yeah. I will say right away, Energy Branch was same as before, and it still is. But if you want to use the Remote Detonation pack, Advanced Infiltrate is everything you need from there. Specialist Ammunition, as already mentioned, has also become much worse. But the fact is, you anyway don't have any meaningful alternatives to these talents. Classic. Start with Advanced Infiltrate, Demolition Specialist and Instant Revival. After that, pick up Teleport Homer and finish off with Mark Target. Overall, this is the default build, which has all the necessary tools to support the team. No energy. Straight away Demolition Specialist, Instant Revival and Mark Target. Then go into Stamina for Fearless Shadow, and after that pick up Soft Target. At first glance it seems that this build simply provides a small amount of vampirism for the party and a bit of damage and movement speed for Cyrus himself. And that's true, of course, but that's not the point. The key is that you get everything right away: explosives, Mark and Squad Revival, while classical build gets the Mark closer to the end of the campaign. The no energy build wins out in tempo and is much more aggressive.